Hello everyone, how are you guys? I hope you are always healthy and well. As I have discussed in several of my previous videos regarding the Soul Exchange event in November 2024, where I have discussed each hero briefly and given a favored score to each hero, where the higher the percentage of a hero's favored score, the more likely the hero is to be chosen by the player in the Soul Exchange event. Where in this video, I will include all the heroes that I discussed in previous videos into one video. And in this video, I will sort all the hero choices in Soul Exchange with 6 categories, which are Soul Cost, Hero Release Date, Hero Skill Effect, Hero Mana Generation, Hero Favored Score, and finally, I will take the top 5 heroes based on the assessment from the previous 5 categories. And disclaimer, this video only helps players in making considerations of hero choices, not necessarily encouraging them to choose a particular hero, because in the end, you will only choose a hero based on your exchange capabilities and needs. And without further ado, let's get started. The first assessment, we will start from Soul Cost, where the following are heroes that cost you 10 souls to exchange. There are Jet, Xavier, Blossom, Sobuk, and Februus. And for the cost of 15 souls, there are Amethyst, Ferdinand, Aridia, Camilla, and Boom and Fong. And for the cost of 20 souls, there are Luna, Erlangshen, Ignacio, Anawakamaru, and Frond. Regarding soul cost, I make a standard, where the fewer souls exchanged, the hero is very worthy to be chosen. Because for me, this event is an opportunity where free players can get a new hero roster without having to spend a single cent. However, some of you may have other thoughts, so I will not argue with it, because maybe spenders also need this event as a way to empty the excess legendary hero roster. So for every hero who has the least and the most cost, I will still count it into the category that is worthy to have. And now, we move on to the second category, namely the hero release date. And for the second category assessment, namely the hero release date. It is true, if we look at the list of heroes in Soul Exchange this time, none of them are considered new, because on average all of these heroes have been released more than a year ago. However, if we only compare each hero based on the existing hero list, then this is the order of the heroes. The oldest hero ranking is Sobuk and Ferdinand. Then, the middle ranking, there is Erlangshen, Anawakamaru, Amethyst, Ignacio, Camilla, Aridia, Xavier, Blossom, and Luna. And at the highest or newest ranking, we find Boom and Fong, Frond, Februus, and Jet. Based on the standards I made, the newer the hero, the more recommended it will be to be chosen, because new heroes certainly have stronger basic stats and power creeps. However, maybe some of you say that the release date cannot be used as a reference entirely, because heroes also have skills that need to be considered. Therefore, now we will enter the third category assessment, namely sorting heroes based on skill effects. And for the assessment of the third category, which is based on skill effects. Maybe some of you will not agree, but I make calculations based on the comparison that I have determined for each hero category. For example, I will only compare healers with the best healers, like the hero list that I made last year. This means that I will not compare healers with snipers, because the assessment standards are not the same. So the score that I make here is the score of the comparison of each hero with the best hero from each category. So the following is the order of heroes based on skill effects. From the bottom 2, we can find Xavier and Luna. And for the mid-power skill, we find Sobuk, Anawakamaru, Erlangshen, Amethyst, Jet, and Februus. And for the strongest power skill, we find Ferdinand, Aridia, Boom and Fong, Ignacio, Blossom, Frond, and Camilla. You need to remember that this is an assessment of skill effects based on the standards that I made. So if you disagree with the order of the heroes I made, that's fine with me, because it's true that heroes can't be judged solely by skill effects. So let's move on to the next category of assessment, which is sorting heroes based on mana generation speed. And for the assessment of the fourth category is the hero sort based on the speed of mana generation, where from the beginning I will say that the standard for my assessment is the faster the hero's mana generation, the more recommended it is to be chosen. And here is the order of the heroes. For the slow mana category, we find Anawakamaru, Amethyst, and Februus. For the average mana category, we find Sobuk, Ferdinand, Aridia, Xavier, Blossom, and Boom and Fong. For the fast mana category, we find Camilla, Jet, Erlangchen, Ignacio, Luna, and Frond. Some of you may ask why Camilla and Jet are in the fast mana category. That's because some of them have different skill effects for each charge. So, like it or not, I have to include them in the fast mana category. And after we know the 4 categories and the order of the heroes, now we will enter the 5th category, namely the hero sort based on the favored score. And now let's move on to the 5th assessment, which is the hero sort based on the favored score, where you need to know that this favored score is calculated from the total score of each hero based on the assessment of the 4 categories that I discussed earlier, where the following is the order of the heroes. Ranked 15th, there is Onwakamaru, with a favored score of 50.2%. Ranked 14th, there is Amethyst, with a favored score of 58.5%. Ranked 13th, there is Ferdinand, with a favored score of 58.8%. Ranked 12th, there is Sobuk, with a favored score of 60.7%. Ranked 11th, there is Aridia, with a favored score of 63.3%. Ranked 10th, there is Luna, with a favored score of 64.5%. Ranked 9th, there is Erlangchen, with a favored score of 66.5%. Ranked 8th, there is Xavier, with a favored score of 67.7%. Ranked 7th, there is Ignacio, with a favored score of 69%. Ranked 6th, there is Camilla, with a favored score of 70.5%. Ranked 5th, there is Boom and Fong, with a favored score of 72.2%. Ranked 4th, there is Blossom, with a favored score of 73.5%. Ranked 3rd, there is Februus, with a favored score of 75.5%. Ranked 2nd, there is Frond, with a favored score of 78.2%. And ranked 1st, there is Jet, with a favored score of 83%. So, if we look at the total score, then we find that Boom and Fong, Blossom, Februus, Frond, and Jet are the holders of the highest favored scores on the Soul Exchange list this time, meaning that these are heroes that you can consider choosing. However, it would be unfair if the favored score was used as the main reference in choosing a hero. Therefore, I also made a new standard where I filtered again the 5 best heroes that you might consider choosing in this Soul Exchange event. That is by sorting the heroes based on their ranking in the assessment of 5 categories. For the assessment of the best category, we will start from rank 5, namely Blossom, the Porcelain Doll Construct, where Blossom occupies 3 positions in the top 5 out of 5 categories. Blossom meets the first top category, namely in the Soul Cost category, where she can be exchanged for a cheaper cost. The second category, namely in the Skill Effect category, where she is included in the Strong Healer and Dispeller category. And the third category, namely in the Favored Score, where she gets a score of 73.5%. Then continue to rank 4. Here we find Boom and Fong, the Reckless Duo, where Boom and Fong occupy 3 positions in the top 5 of 5 categories, where he occupies the top 4 in the Hero Release Date category, which shows that he is a new hero who certainly has a strong power creep. The second category is on the Hero Skill Effect, where he is a Mega Minion caster, as well as a solid counterattacker in the defense formation. And the third category, namely in the Favored Score, where he gets a score of 72.2%. Then continue to rank 3. Here we find Februus, the Masked God of Purification, where Februus occupies 3 positions in the top 5 of 5 categories, where he occupies the second top position in the Hero Release Date category, which shows that he is a new hero who certainly has a strong power creep. The second category is in the Hero's Soul Cost, where he can be exchanged for a cheap cost. And the third category, namely in the Favored Score, where he gets a score of 75.5%. Then continue to rank 2. Here we find Jet, the Herald of Sacrifice, where Jet occupies 4 of the top 5 positions out of 5 categories, where he occupies the top 1 position in the Hero Release Date category, which shows that he is a newest hero who certainly has a strong power creep. The second category is on the Hero's Soul Cost, where he can be exchanged for a cheap cost. The third category, on Mana Speed, where he has a mana speed ranging from fast to average, which makes him a good attacker in the attack formation. And the fourth category, namely in the Favored Score, where he gets a score of 83%. And finally, we enter the first and top ranking. Here we find Frond, the Elven Construct, where Frond occupies the top 5 positions out of 5 categories, where he occupies the top 1 position in the Hero Release Date category, which shows that he is a new hero who who certainly has a strong power creep. The second category is on the hero's soul cost, whereas I have discussed previously in the soul cost category that some players may need this event as a place to empty their excess legendary hero roster. So because of this, Frond is also a recommendation for players who want a hero with the most expensive soul cost. The third category, namely on skill effects, where Frond occupies the top 2 positions with a score of 80. The fourth category, on mana speed, where he has a fast mana speed, where this makes him a good attacker in the attack formation. And the fifth category, namely on the favored score, where he gets a score of 78.2% or the top 2 rankings. And based on my personal assessment, there are some heroes who also deserve honorable mentions, such as Erlang, the warrior god of heaven, Ignazio, the conductor of flames, and Luna, the crescent owl, because they have also been ranked as the top monthly heroes in 2023, and also in terms of overall category assessment, they are also not too bad. And lastly, I need to remind you that the assessment based on the categories I made earlier is only a reference that can help you in determining or considering which hero you should choose in this soul exchange event. Because in the end, the choice of the best hero still falls on your needs and exchange capabilities. And according to the previous discussion, which hero do you think you want to exchange the most? Write their names below, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends so they don't have difficulty making choices, and see you again in the next Empires and Puzzles video.